Technology Tap. I'm ProfessorJRod. In this episode, it's going to be Security Plus Questions. We did A Plus and Network Plus. Now it's time to hit you guys with Security Plus Questions. Let's get to it. All right. So a couple of episodes back, we have done Network Plus questions, A Plus questions, and it seemed like you guys really liked those. I put a couple of questions on my website, and then you follow along. So we're gonna do it today with Security Plus. So if you go to ProfessorJRod.com, that's my website, you will see a link that says CompTIA Questions. And for this episode, it's going to be security. So we can go to CompTIA Security Questions. And there you will see 4 Security Plus questions. Now, I kind of made it, I picked it randomly. And some of them are really easy. It's only 4. One of them is really easy. One of them, and 2 of them you got to think about. One of them is fair. So it's 4 questions, and let's do it. All right, first question. An employer requires the employees use a key-generating app on their smartphones to log into corporate applications. In terms of authentication of an individual, this type of access policy is best defined as what? And the choices are something you have, something you know, something you do, and something that you are. This is part of the authentication factors that you have nowadays. And actually, I think there's an episode on the podcast. I did one maybe about a year ago. So let's take a look. So first, what the strategy is to read the question. And I don't mean like skim it. I mean like really read it. So an employer requires employees use a key generating app, like a key fob, right? Or, right on their smartphones. And they have the key fob on their phones kind of thing. Where they send you a code on your phone, right? It's one of those. So in terms of authentication, what is that called? Is that something that you have, something that you know, something that you do, something that you are? Right away, something that you do, something that you are, you can eliminate. Right? It could be something that you know, but guess what? But it's not, because before that, you didn't know it. So something that you know kind of refers to like a PIN that you created or a password that you already know. And this, since it's key generating, right? You don't know what it is. It's something that you have. So the answer will be A. Next question. Adhering to a layered security approach, a controlled access facility employs security guard who verify the authorization of all personnel entering the facility. Which of the following terms does best describe the security control being employed? And your choices are administrative control, corrective control, deterrent control, and compensating control. Corrective you could eliminate because you're not really correcting any kind of act and you're not really compensating for anything else, right? So you can eliminate B and D right off the bat. Now, this is when I say, again, you have to read the question, right? Because on the surface, right away is C, because you see security guard, and security guards are, they're there to protect and deter. But because he's verifying authorizations of all personnel entering the facility, the answer is actually administrative, right? Because he's doing an administrative function. So yeah, the answer is A, administrative. All right, question 3. Which of the following are the main reasons why a system administrator would install security patches in a staging environment before the patches are applied to the production server? So what is he doing? He's taking the patches, he's installing it, let's say on a virtual machine, and he's going to put it there before he puts it out on the production server. You have 5 choices. They want you to select 2. So A, to prevent server availability issues. B, to verify the appropriate patch is being installed. C, to generate a new baseline hash after patching. D, to allow users test functionality. E, to ensure users are trained on a new functionality. Well, there's really one that you can get rid of off the bat, and that's C, to generate a new baseline after patching. A baseline hash after patching. And it says which of the following are the main reasons, right? Definitely one of the reasons is to allow users to test functionality, right? You want to test it first. So that's one. So we have 3 left, A, B, and E. So to verify the appropriate patches being installed, listen, if you don't know what patch you're installing, you should already know before you're installing stuff if it's the appropriate patch. So B is out. So you're pretty much left with A and E. And the choice is A, right? To prevent server availability issues. Yeah, you're not going to put a patch on a production server before you test it, right? Unless you want to lose your job. If you want to lose your job, go ahead and do that, right? So the answers here is A and D. A and D are the answers. All right, last question. A chief operating officer drafts an agreement between the organizations and its employees. The agreement outlines ramifications for releasing information without consent and or approval. Which of the following best describes this type of an agreement? And now they're all acronyms, right? You have ASA, you have NDA, you have MOU, and you have SLA. So, which ones can you eliminate? All right, which ones can you eliminate? Take a look at the question. All right, so I say that's the one you can eliminate right away. Right? I say stands for instruction set architecture. It has nothing to do with any agreement. So that's one. Two is NDA, non-disclosure agreement. MOU is memorandum of understanding. SOS is service level agreement. D you can eliminate because usually service level agreement is you and the company. Now you have memorandum of understanding. Memorandum of understanding is kind of like an agreement within you and a company on something. And the key thing about memorandum of understanding in Security Plus exam is that it is not enforceable. Memorandum of understanding are not enforceable in court. Right? So the answer is NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Non-disclosure agreement. And think about this. For most companies, you know, I never worked in a company where you had to sign an NDA. But, there's some companies that you have to, and it's totally legal. The only time that is not legal is if you work, for the most part, for the government. So, like, if you work for, like, New York State, and you're not handing classified, documents, and they make you sign and your boss makes you sign an NDA, it's not enforceable. You're a public employee. So that doesn't work. I've seen in the news lately where some government entities have asked people to sign NDAs, but unless you're working in top secret stuff, you're a public employee. They can't make you. I mean, they could make you. If you don't do it, they fire you. But it's not enforceable if you violate it. So, all right, that was a good 4 questions. Let me know if you like this format. If you want me to do more questions, I know the A Plus and the Network Plus were very, very popular on the show. So if you want, we could do more. I love doing these questions. I love breaking them down. I'm not saying these questions are probably not going to be on the test, but you can take a look at the format and then kind of like realize, you have to read it and kind of digest it, and make sure that you make proper choices, because it's just a matter of practice, right? This is actually a skill, being able to take educated guesses if you don't know the answer. There's some that you're going to know the answer right away, but it's very, very important to read the question, right? And number 2 is a great example. As soon as I saw the word security guard on question number 2, I was like, oh, that's deterrent. But when I read it, I realized that it's not. It's administrative. So let me know if you're interested in me doing any more classes. You can email me at ProfessorJRod@gmail.com. If you like this stuff, we could do more. If you want me to do more than 4, do 4. I don't want to get, too crazy. You guys get bored. But, if you want me to do more, I'll do more. I'll put the link on the bottom of the show notes, so then you can take a put it on it. But it's ProfessorJRod.com, and go under CompTIA questions, and you'll see CompTIA Security Plus Questions, or ProfessorJRod.com/Security Plus Questions. All right. All right. Thank you for inviting me into your, I was going to say radio, but your phones and your TVs and your computers and whatever else you listen to. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, and we'll see you next time. This has been a presentation of Little Chacha Productions, art by Sarah and Desmond. If you want to reach me at ProfessorJRod@gmail.com. ProfessorJRod.com.